Imagine working because you want to, not because you have to. That's what financial freedom is all about. But here's the truth. When I first started this journey, I made mistakes that cost me time, money, and peace of mind. Today, I'm sharing the lessons I wish I knew before I began my path to financial freedom, so you don't have to learn them the hard way. But let me be completely honest with you. The path to get there is rarely a straight line. When I first started this journey, I was armed with enthusiasm, but very little real-world knowledge. I made a whole host of mistakes that cost me precious time, hard-earned money, and countless sleepless nights. I chased get-rich-quick schemes I saw online. I fell into the trap of thinking that credit card debt was just a normal part of adult life, and I felt completely paralyzed by the overwhelming amount of conflicting financial advice out there. Today, I want to pull back the curtain and share the 5 most crucial lessons I wish someone had taught me before I began my path to financial freedom. My goal is to give you the map I never had, so you can navigate this journey with more confidence and avoid the painful detours I took. These are the lessons that will save you from learning things the hard way. The first and most fundamental thing I learned is this: your mindset is more important than your income. For years, I was convinced that financial freedom was just about making more money. I'd tell myself, if I could just get that next raise, everything would be fine. But here's what would happen. I'd get the raise, and almost immediately, my expenses would magically expand to consume it. This phenomenon is called lifestyle inflation. A bigger paycheck led to a slightly nicer car, more frequent dinners out, and more expensive subscriptions. I was earning more, but I was no closer to freedom. The problem wasn't the size of my paycheck, it was my lack of control over it. It all starts with your mindset. If you don't consciously direct your money, your impulses will. Even a 6-figure salary won't save you from financial stress if your spending habits are out of control. The shift happens when you move from unconscious spending to intentional, value-based spending. Before every non-essential purchase, ask yourself, does this align with my ultimate goal of freedom? This isn't about depriving yourself of everything you enjoy. It's about making sure your money is working for the life you truly want, not just the fleeting desires of the moment. The real wealth isn't found in a bigger bank account, but in the discipline you build to control the money you already have. Lesson number 2. Learn to distinguish between good debt and bad debt. I used to operate under the simplistic belief that all debt was inherently bad and should be avoided at all costs. But that's a dangerously incomplete picture. Some debt, when used strategically, can actually be a tool for wealth creation. Think of a sensible mortgage on a property that appreciates over time, or a student loan that unlocks a high-earning career path. This is often called good debt because it's an investment in an asset. The real enemy, the true trap on the path to freedom, is high-interest consumer debt. I'm talking about credit cards, personal loans, and payday loans. This is bad debt. It finances a lifestyle, not an asset, and its interest rates are designed to keep you trapped. I was stuck in the minimum payment cycle for years, not realizing that a $3,000 balance at 21% interest would take over a decade to pay off and cost me thousands in interest alone. Making the decision to aggressively pay off that high-interest debt was the single best investment I ever made. Every dollar I sent to the credit card company was earning me a guaranteed 21% return, a return you simply can't find anywhere else. Freeing up that cash flow every month felt like giving myself a massive raise. This brings me to lesson 3. Time the market is infinitely more powerful than the market. I wasted so many years on the sidelines, paralyzed by fear and a desire to find the perfect investment. I'd read headlines about market crashes and think, I'll just wait for the bottom. Then I'd see the market soaring and think, oh, I've missed the boat. I'll wait for the next dip. I was trying to be a genius, and it cost me my most valuable asset, time. What I finally understood is that successful investing for most people isn't about picking the next Tesla. It's about consistency and compound interest. Let me give you an example. Imagine you start investing just $200 a month at age 25. By age 65, with an average market return of 8%, you could have over $500,000. But if you wait just 10 years and start at age 35, you'd have to invest more than double that amount each month to reach the same goal. That's the magic of compounding. Your money starts making money, and then that money starts making its own money. The key is to start now. even if it's small. Automate your investments into a simple, low-cost index fund and let time do the heavy lifting for you. Lesson number 4 was a hard one for me to accept. Never rely on a single source of income. For most of my early career, I believed in the illusion of job security. I had a good job, a steady paycheck, and I thought that was enough. That was incredibly risky. In today's economy, layoffs, restructuring, and automation can happen to anyone, at any time. Relying on a single paycheck puts you in a fragile position. Building multiple income streams was the accelerator on my journey. This doesn't mean you need to go out and start a massive company. It can start small. Turn a hobby into a side hustle. Do some freelance work in your field. Build a small portfolio of dividend-paying stocks that provide portfolio income. Or work towards creating passive income through something like a rental property or online content. The old metaphor is that relying on one income is like standing on one leg. You're unstable and can easily fall. But it's more than that. When you're on one leg, you're also stuck. You can't step forward towards a new opportunity. You can't pivot if your circumstances change. Creating a second and then a third stream of income gives you stability, yes, but more importantly, it gives you mobility and the power to choose your next move. Finally, lesson number 5. Financial freedom is a lifestyle, not a finish line. When I started, I had this image in my head of a specific number. I thought, once I have X million dollars, I'll have crossed the finish line and all my worries will disappear forever. This mindset caused a lot of unnecessary stress and a feeling of constant failure because the goalpost always seemed so far away. The truth is, financial freedom is a spectrum, a journey you live every day. The first time you build a 1-month emergency fund, you've achieved a level of freedom. You're free from the panic of a small, unexpected expense. When you pay off your last credit card, you've achieved an even greater freedom. You're free from the chains of high-interest debt. It's a continuous process of making choices that grant you more control and less stress. It's about finding the right balance between saving for the future and actually enjoying the life you have today. The moment you accept that it's a lifestyle, the entire journey becomes less stressful and more rewarding. You start celebrating the small wins along the way, recognizing that each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory for your future self. So if you're just starting your financial freedom journey, or if you feel stuck along the way, please remember these keys. First, master your mindset before you worry about your income. Second, attack your high-interest debt with a vengeance. It's the biggest anchor holding you back. Third, start investing today, consistently, and let time be your greatest ally. Fourth, get creative and build multiple streams of income to create stability and options. And finally, embrace this as a lifelong journey of growth and balance, not a frantic race to a mythical finish line. This path isn't always easy, but it is profoundly worth it. Now, I want to hear from you. In the comments below, tell me which of these 5 lessons resonated with you the most, and what is one small, actionable step you're going to take this week to move forward. Let's create a community of support and accountability right here. And if you found this helpful and want to continue learning together, please hit that like button and subscribe for more financial wisdom. The freedom you will gain, the freedom from stress, the freedom of choice, the freedom to live life on your own terms, is the greatest return on investment you will ever achieve. Let's grow together on this road to freedom.